Welcome everybody to today's webinar, IMUS Integrated Marketing, how ATS and Real Magnet partner to improve member engagement and revenue. My name is Ben Zastroki and I'm a senior consultant here at ATS. Today we have Randy Richter, who's our Director of Technology Solutions and a partner at ATS, along with Kim Matus, the Digital Marketing Strategist at Real Magnet, who will be presenting, kind of showing you how the integration works, the benefits of Real Magnet. I think you'll be impressed with the new editor that they've released this past year and how the functionality really has improved, and then really the power of integrating with IMUS. Today we're going to have about 30 minutes, so hopefully about 20-25 minutes of presentation, and then we'll have time for questions at the end. If you have questions, please go ahead and type those into the question box within your GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar toolbar. Also, if you need to adjust your screen within your GoToWebinar viewer, there is a Zoom pull-down menu where you can zoom in or out to adjust the display on your screen. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Kim to begin the presentation, and then Randy will kind of close things out at the end, and we'll ask and answer all your questions toward the end. Kim?
Thank you so much, Ben, and thanks again to ATS and everybody on the call today for giving Real Magnet a chance to demonstrate our capabilities, specifically our bridge into IMUS and all of the benefits that the bridge affords our clients. Let me start out with a few key points about the bridge. The bridge was built by our partners at ATS. We were able to lean on their expertise and their command of the IMUS environment to build us a bridge that is sound and strong and clean, and we've been very happy with this partnership. The bridge works on all versions of IMUS from 10 all the way to 20, and it offers really two big primary benefits. The first is the ability to automate or schedule uploads of your member data from IMUS into Real Magnet, and the second is the ability to send behavioral engagement metrics from Real Magnet back into the IMUS member record. Another big benefit to the bridge is that it was built using ASI's IBOs, so it provides a very secure way of passing that data back and forth. There's no need to open a hole in your firewall to get that data passed, and I know that a lot of folks are appreciating this particular aspect of it. Here's just a quick snapshot of some of your IMUS colleagues who are taking advantage of this integration. And before we take a deeper dive into how the integration works, I'd like to take a few minutes just to highlight some of the key features in Real Magnet that have been attracting your IMUS colleagues to our platform. One of the main things is how easy we make it for you to create email messages with our brand new state-of-the-art editor. This editor is perfect for somebody like me with little to no graphics or HTML skills. You can resize images natively right within the editor, so gone are the days where you're having to wait for a graphic designer to resize your stuff. You can insert content zones by simply dragging and dropping them right into the interface. You can easily create and resize columns. You can see here on the left what some of those zones are: a WYSIWYG zone, an image zone, dynamic content, which lets you customize your messages based on the recipient's interests. The RSS zone lets you easily repurpose content from your blog or website immediately into the email message. And then the inline editing function makes editing the content really a breeze, and you can also very easily turn a message into a template that you can use over and over again. So tons of flexibility and power when it comes to content creation. On the social side of things, we're always innovating. You can turn each story in your email newsletter into its own optimized social post, and you can also allow your members to share each individual story with their social networks. You can engage directly with your social followers from within the Real Magnet application, and you can connect their social identities with their email addresses. And we're the only IMUS integrated ESP with the ability to do this. And you can begin to imagine the possibilities you now have as a marketer when you can see this full circle view of each one of your members. You can also track if and how your social efforts are impacting your overall member engagement, and you can see exactly where the revenue is coming from. So really this lets you compare and contrast all of your digital marketing channels in one place, and then finally have the ability to bring all of this data back into the IMUS member record. The integration also gives you the ability to easily create automated marketing campaigns in Real Magnet that leverage the IMUS integration. And the Real Magnet development team has actually been heads down for 18 months building out a brand new marketing automation module that's going to afford you an extremely simple way to automate a lot of the processes that you're doing manually today. So when you log into this module, you identify yourself as an association, and then you get a drop-down that's specific to all of the campaign types that we know associations need to run, right? We've been working with you guys for 15 years. We know your business. And the beauty is that the logic has already been pre-built into these campaigns. So you just select the campaign that you want, and Real Magnet then prompts you through that setup. It really could not be easier to use. And, you know, we can handle sort of workflow automations. If you look at this list, you'll see things like welcome campaigns, membership renewals, event promotions, all things that you have to do manually today. But then there's other campaigns that are more on the behavioral side of things, things you can automate to segment, lead scoring, engagement campaigns. So this thing is beautiful, and I would encourage and welcome the chance to demo this for you on a separate call. So let's now have a deeper look into how the integration works. Going from IMIS to Real Magnet is pretty simple. You run your queries in IMIS. We support SQL, queries, IQAs, ad hocs, and committees. You then make those queries visible into Real Magnet as target groups, and then you schedule them to either refresh on a daily or a weekly basis. We also have what we call our refresh on email send option, which means that Real Magnet knows to update the records in those groups that you're emailing with a fresh pull from IMIS when you hit send on your email message. And you can also just run now, sort of run it on the spot with a click of a button. So very flexible in terms of how you get the data from IMIS into Real Magnet. And then going the other way is also pretty straightforward. You get to choose which engagement metrics from Real Magnet you want pushed back into that IMIS member record. And these can include opens, actual links clicked, so not just did they click, what specifically did they click on, bounces, subscribes and unsubscribes, and social data. So now let's have a look at how this functions within the Real Magnet application. In our Tools tab, you'll find the IMIS management area, and in here the info is basically split into these three tabs. Sitting in the middle is the Create Upload job. This is where you're going to find all of the queries in IMIS that you've made visible into Real Magnet. You're going to select the one that you want to turn into a group, and then click Create Map. On the next screen, the first thing I want to point out is that for tracking purposes, we're going to automatically associate a member's contact ID in IMIS to a custom member ID in Real Magnet. And then from here, you get to map any additional fields from IMIS to a matching field in Real Magnet. So just bring over the data that you know you're going to use for maybe personalization reasons or dynamic content requirements. And as you add your fields, you see them start to show up here. We also allow you to save that map for the more complex mapping requirements that you might have. And now it's time to align this query with a new or existing group in Real Magnet. So you hit Create Schedule. On the next screen, you align that query with a new group or an existing group in Real Magnet. You can manage your overwriting preferences here. And then finally, you get to select how you want this data to update. Again, do you want to update it right now? Do you want it to go on demand? Do you want to schedule it on a daily or weekly basis? And frankly, I think that's the more popular option, just daily, so that when you get in the morning, you know that Real Magnet has all of that data updated from IMIS. You're going to find all of your queries on sort of this admin page where you can identify all the queries you've configured to update into Real Magnet. You kind of see the frequency, what the job type is, how many people are in the group, and you can make edits from here. As for the tracking data that you can bring back into Real Magnet, you would do that in this third tab here called Manage Tracking, and you can see the list of metrics that you have the opportunity to bring back. And just know, Real Magnet stores all of this too, so you don't necessarily need to send everything back into IMIS. For example, under bounces, maybe you just want to bring the critical bounce types, like bad domain or user not found over, but you keep the rest of them in Real Magnet. So you've got options there. As for IMIS, this is how we're showing up. We've got a user-defined table in the member record, and if you look at it up close, you can see all of the activity details that are associated with that record. You can also click into each activity to see more detail. For example, on link clicked, you can see here that we're showing you exactly which link was clicked And we also give you the ability to create link labels. So let's say you want to be able to pull up a report in IMIS that says, show me everybody who clicked on any link associated with my annual meeting or any link associated with my sponsored content. Link labels enable you to do that. Another advantage you now have with this integration is the ability in IMIS to now pull some really neat reports that cross-reference all of the messaging data from Real Magnet with the other IMIS member data that you're storing. At a basic level, you could pull things like opens by job title or webinar registrations by region, but you can now more easily do triggered and automated campaigns like we talked about earlier using that integrated data. As my final slide here, I want to just leave you sort of with the 5 big takeaways on the benefits of working with Real Magnet, 5 of the biggest areas that our clients, both old and new, are appreciating most about our service. First on the list is the ease of use on that new editor, our social integration tools, and now our brand new, extremely simple and powerful marketing automation module. Next is our email deliverability. We can't say enough about the importance of getting your message to the inbox. And with our dedicated team of deliverability experts, people who are tasked with nothing other than getting your emails delivered, people you can actually talk to and meet with, that's a big reason why our service stands out. Next is our flexible payment option. So with email blocks that don't expire or our month-to-month options, people are really appreciating the flexibility that they now have when it comes to payment. Our support team. So starting with the dedicated integrations team who's going to get your bridge implemented working with ATS, to your dedicated strategic account manager. This is your one-stop resource for all things Real Magnet. They're assigned to your account. They know you from the beginning. They're there to train you, to onboard you. And then we also have a general support team that's awesome as well, and they're available to help you to sort of day-to-day. You're in there, you have a question, call us up, send us an email. Very good support. And then finally, the quality of the bridge. You know, we have clients that are remarking to us pretty regularly how impressed they are with the data that we're able to write back into that IMIS member record, and just overall, again, with that implementation process. So with that, I thank you all again so much for listening. We're going to turn it over to Randy now to talk about how the integration works on ATS's side, as well as highlight some of the other capabilities of using Real Magnet in conjunction with ATS's online marketplace to maximize your member engagement and revenue.
Great, Kim. Great overview. Really, thank you a lot for that. Just want to talk a little about, because these kind of questions come up a lot, which is, you know, how does this stuff work? And that's really what we're going to talk about for a few minutes here. These are .NET, Microsoft .NET web services that are based on the IMIS business objects that gets installed on your server. So right now, you probably, for those that are in 15 and 20, you have an IMIS application server. A set of web services are installed there, and those talk back and forth to the IMIS database. That means that the only traffic over the internet is in a secure channel, can be run over HTTPS, and so you don't have to open up any special holes in your firewall or anything like that to do this communication back and forth with Real Magnet. It is available, as I said, for all versions of IMIS, from IMIS 10 to 20. Got maybe even some new clients on 20.1.19 coming on board. You know, people that we got a lot of people upgrading to the latest 20, and this will work on all versions, up and down the line without modification. If you do upgrade IMIS, you would need to get a new version of this, but that is simply a copy and paste type of operation to upgrade. We do support multiple kinds of groups in IMIS. For those of you that haven't used IQA, first of all, it's a great tool. Really consider doing that. Ad hoc queries, SQL views, and some automatic groups, like just everybody that's on a committee can automatically be groups that get exposed over to Real Magnet to send broadcast or blast emails out. One of the cool things about the IQA queries is you can make any fields you want in your IQA, including a calculated field like number of donations over $50 in a given year, or things like that, and then those fields can be exposed over on the Real Magnet side. And again, the engagement metrics are loaded directly into IMIS. Kim showed you a great list there of all the different kind of metrics that can be exposed, and you can decide which ones you want to do in IMIS. The pros and cons of that, definitely Real Magnet has some great reports in there, but maybe sometime you just say, we want to report based on everybody that's attended 2 of the last 3-year conferences and how they're open. And we'll get into an example of that. So sometimes you might just want more demographic cross-tabulation data in IMIS, and that's where you can decide where you want to do your reports, in which area, or both. So, and really we're talking about the report generation is from IMUS based on, you can do all kind of reports based on that engagement metrics, whether that's using the new dashboard features of an IMUS 20, which are fantastic. You know, that'd be great for marketing people who log into IMUS to immediately see the pie charts, the bar charts, things like that of your metrics, how many people have opened particular messages. Easy installation, it's really easy. There's not much to do to the installation. You know, we need to get access to your server, installed on your server, and we've done this many times, so it's a very straightforward process, assuming we have access to get in there and do that. So, you know, really, as Kim said, the engagement metrics are all stored in Real Magnet as a user-defined table. And those metrics can be reported on with things like IQA or other tools that you might have inside of IMUS. Okay. Engagement metrics, again, can be cross-referenced against other things like purchases. All right. Let me give you a few use cases we'll go through as I talk about this. For example, you might want to know which users clicked on a link to an event in the Real Magnet email that actually registered for the event. You know, because they clicked on it, you'll know that they actually registered for it. And then you'll see that in that metric inside of IMUS. Why? Well, you know, you might want to determine the effectiveness of your individual email campaigns, you know, to see if you're really turning those people that are open emails into real readers. So that's really one of the examples of why you would want to do that. You can compare, how do you do this? Well, you compare who clicked on a link to the list of who registered. So inside a Real Magnet, you have the demographics, as Kim showed you there. And then you'll see the link over here. And so you'd write some kind of an IQA, SSRS, ad hoc query, or other IMUS tool, you know, to get that. And there's just an example of a kind of a query that you could do here. For example, give me everybody that clicked on a link to the URL of the annual conference and have registered. So that's the extent of the query, to find everybody that actually registered based on whether or not they clicked on that link. All right. We're going to go to the second one. How many emails, perhaps we got a question like how many emails about an event does a member open before they actually register? Do they usually register after the first broadcast email? Or do they register, you know, after the second email or the third email or something like that? Why would you want to know that? Well, again, how effective is your marketing? How many times do you have to send emails out? Again, these metrics will help you determine that. Now, how would you do this? Well, we count the number of times the person opens a message about their annual meeting, you know, before they actually do the registration. There's an example in here. You'll see in IMUS, you can see that there's an open reference in the Real Magnet user-defined table. You also can then write a query, again, an IQA, SSRS, ad hoc query, anything to do that. And these will be available. We'll put these in the slides for folks, you know, to show you, you know, that you can have this and use them as inspiration if you want to get this done. Okay. Use case 3. Maybe you want to find the number of people opening the email by member type, age, geographic region, or something like that. Why? Well, you might want to understand, you know, which messages are more effective for younger or older or based on day of week. Now, great metrics again over there at Real Magnet, but maybe you want to cross-reference that against age that's in IMUS or type of member, something like that. How would we do that? Well, we'd count the number of open emails and group them by member type. Simple as that. Again, you've got your member type in IMUS. You've got who opened it or who clicked on a link, and you can do any of that. Again, we threw a simple SQL query in here just so you have it in the slides for someone as an example of how you can get that report. Got one more use case here. Now, ATS does have an online marketplace, but this could be similar statistics for using the iPart store out of IMUS or other e-commerce stores. But kind of a common question we get is, you know, how many people have clicked on this email and actually ended up buying a book? To determine the effectiveness of a particular message. Well, how would we do that? Well, we use some of the built-in reporting and order trackings of the marketplace or your iPart store, and then again link to those links in Real Magnet. And just some simple examples. Here's an example of a store where somebody might go in and and there's a buck on Harry Potter they're buying. This store has some things. You could also check what links, like people who bought this, bought that. But the use case here is to set up a source code in IMUS general lookup table. That is how you track source codes in IMUS. If you're familiar with IMUS, if you're taking a manual order in the source code field, there's a place to put in a source code, and that needs to be in the source code lookup table in IMUS. In Real Magnet, at least if you're using the ATS on the marketplace, you'd use something like this. Make a demo.ats.org/store detail.aspx. You'll see ID equal and promo equal spring 2014. Now, some people do this by going through to a little pass-through page, but again, Real Magnet's going to tell you if they clicked on it, and this is how you could get that promo code, though, in this case, if you use the marketplace, all the way down into your transaction. So not only would you know that they clicked on that because of spring 14, that you'll know that in Real Magnet, but you'll know inside the IMUS transaction record that that was the promo that they actually used to buy that book or register for that event. Again, then we report on the purchases by source code. Just in case you're not familiar with this source code general lookup table in IMUS, that's it. There's some examples there, a mail, phone, web. You can make up your own source codes in there. And you'll see then when the order's done, it will automatically put in the source code field whatever was passed in, like spring 2014. Just to show you one more screen, in the marketplace, we do have the orders by source code, but you could write your own IQA query, your own dashboard to do that as well. In summary, really just what we're finding is Real Magnet just has a wealth of information about this engagement, and so many people are looking at engagement metrics, not only email, but how many speakers registered, how many people, how many speakers have submitted a call for proposal, how many people have signed up to be on a committee, and really we're finding that we've been at a lot of client sites lately where member engagement is so important. In fact, on the ASA listserv today, I got an email summary of a newsletter, and I think 3 of the positions that were announced that were open at associations had titles like Member Engagement Manager or Director of Member Engagement. And we're just seeing this as a really emerging thing in the association industry, and really email is one of your biggest sources of engagement metrics, and Real Magnet and the ATS online market, the ATS Bridge can really help you get that. Again, report it through the dashboards, other kind of reports. Really, it's important to gauge the effectiveness of your marketing to make sure your marketing is actually meeting the people you want and producing the results you want at the end of that. With that, I'll stop, and we'll see if there's any questions, and we'll open it up for questions to everybody. We do have a couple questions that I'll just comment on here. The first question was, will the slides be available to everybody? The answer is yes on that. The second question that happened a few minutes ago was, they said they missed the first part of the presentation. How can we use this for email marketing, campaigns, and newsletters? I showed you a few examples. Kim, do you have anything to add on that question about using this for marketing, campaigns, and newsletters?
Sure. So Real Magnet would become your system for sending out all of those campaigns via email. Newsletters, promotional campaigns, anything that's automated through our new marketing automation module. So I think the slide deck will show you a little bit of that, but of course we're happy to set up a one-on-one meeting where I can understand what it is that you're trying to do, and then show you in Real Magnet how all of that would happen. But absolutely, Real Magnet is 100% the system that you would be using to send out all of your email communications.
The second one, Kim, that came in was, does Real Magnet track recipients typically does Real Magnet track when recipients typically open blast, and is there a function to automatically stagger delivery or blast based on predicted best open times?
Okay, so that is referring to something called send time optimization, which basically the system knows when me, Kim, tends to open my emails, and it sends emails at that time. It knows, Randy, when you tend to open emails, and sends you the email at that time. As of right now, Real Magnet does not have this functionality out of the box, but what we do have that we think is helpful is time zone send feature, where you can say, all right, I want to send my email out at 9 a.m., but I want everybody across the entire country to get it at 9 a.m. So we do have that feature, and then we have a lot of other, again, through this marketing automation module, we're making it so easy for you to, segment your readers based on their behavior. So for example, if they click this if they open this message and click this link, send them a follow-up campaign. So there's a lot of other ways to kind of customize your messaging based on your subscriber activity that I definitely think are worth exploring. Lots of benefits here to be had, so happy to dig down into that, again, one-on-one if that works out.
Great. Are there any other questions about the integration, how it works with IMUS, how you might use it to report on information? We're close to the end of our time, but we'd be happy to take any other questions that someone might have. Okay. With that, I'm going to pass it back to Ben Zastroki to wrap us up.
Thank you, Kim and Randy. That was great. And as Randy mentioned, these slides will be available on the ATS website along with the recording of today's webinar, and that's at www.atsol.org/webinar. Also, we appreciate feedback on our presentations on the webinars or suggestions for upcoming webinars. All of the webinars that ATS provides are based upon feedback from our clients or from other IMUS users. So if you have those suggestions, please send those to us. Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. Kim and Randy, thank you both very much for a great presentation today.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Take care.
You bet. Have a great day. Bye-bye.